Hey there again, everyone, and welcome to day 3 of the Holiday Ham Challenge. I'm Coach Adam, and I'm going to be taking you through the exercise of the day, which, believe it or not, is going to be none other than the bridge. This is a very basic exercise, but it's perfect for anybody, regardless of your fitness level. It's a great way to really work through that hip extension movement that the glutes are really known for, and it's a great way just to check back in on your form and just really get that good technique built up. Again, this is really good for anybody regardless of your fitness level because it helps you go through that mind-muscle connection of activating the glutes by pushing all the way through the bottom of your feet and just thrusting your hips in a forward motion and just really building up the power behind those glute muscles. And the best thing about this is that you can easily modify it with a few modifications here and there just to make it a little bit more challenging with resistance, but as well as challenging your balance and stabilization. And those we will definitely add in as we go through this challenge this month. But first, let's just go over the bridge itself. This is done on the floor, on your back, with your feet on the floor as well. So just gonna roll around here. You're gonna lay down on your back, head and shoulders pressed against the floor. And you're gonna have your feet coming up until they're almost just underneath your knees. If you walk your feet further away, this does make it a little bit more challenging, but for today, we're gonna start with them right underneath your knees, so that way your knees are very nicely bent, and you can have your hands on your sides on the floor, so that way they give you some stabilization. From here, you're gonna make sure that you first have your tailbone tucked under, so your back is nice and flat on the floor, and then from here, you're gonna push through the midfoot and your heel, and push your hips straight up towards the ceiling, and you're gonna feel that squeeze going up the back of your leg and that hamstring all the way up into your glutes, lifting your hips just as high as you can, keeping your head and shoulders on the floor, and then with control coming back down. So this is primarily just pushing those hips right up, feeling that squeeze in the back of your legs all the way up into your glutes. Now you might notice that you feel this pull in your abdomen once you get to the very top of your bridge. That is normal because remember, even though you got a lot of vital organs in here like your stomach, intestines, your liver, and etc., you also still have your abdominal muscles that are deep inside the abdominal cavity, more like on the sides and on the front side of your spine, and they get activated and they get taut when you get to the very top and try to achieve that long, tight line in your entire torso through your hips, and they engage with your rectus abdominis in the front to really pull your hips right up and keep your hips in line, because otherwise if you let them go, then your hips drop and you really don't get any activation out of the glutes. So make sure your hips stay rolled under, and then that way, just push through your feet, push through those heels to lift those hips right up, squeeze that booty at the top, and then with control coming back down. Really feel that squeeze in those butt cheeks as you get to the top. And a simple way just to make this a little bit more difficult, especially if you want to add some resistance, is just to take a dumbbell or two, just depending on the weight of the dumbbells or whatever you're using for resistance, place them right on top of your hips, get back into position, and then keeping your head and shoulders down, press those feet firmly into the floor, and lift those hips up, so now you're not only going through the movement and actively squeezing those glutes, you now have resistance to push against. And that is none other than the bridge. So, your homework for today in the challenge is to do a few sets of those. So you can do 1 to 2 sets of as many reps. Excuse me. You can do 1 to 2 sets of as many reps of those as you'd like to do. You can set yourself a time limit to do as many reps as you can do in, say, a minute or 90 seconds. And if you want, you can even test out your strength to see like how much you can lift for 10 to 12 reps with something sitting on your hips. Make sure whatever you place on your hips is not going to cause some discomfort. So if it's relatively flat, that would probably be better. The edges of my dumbbells here have a nice flat surface, so that way I can just place them right on the hips. But again, make sure you listen to your body, because if it's too much pressure on the hips, probably not a good idea to push through on the bridge. And again, this is to make sure that you guys know the technique, that you are feeling the muscles activated, and that the glutes are firing to push your hips right up. All right? So that's your challenge for today, is to do the bridge. So make sure you leave a comment below, let us know your feedback, and as always, let us know how you're enjoying this challenge, because this is day 3 and we got 31 days total in this challenge. So let's get to work on these hammies. I'll see you guys next time.